Otega Oweh. If this one, I think that he probably needs to come back, Isaac. And he said, I think the quote was, "I'm going through the process as if I'm all in," which to me says he's not very good at doing the whole like, "Yeah, I'm in" speech that he needs to be given to the media. But if I like Otega, I don't know if you're a top 45 pick. I think he is a fantastic college basketball player. I don't know if he right now is a guy that NBA teams would be willing to use a roster spot on at the NBA level at this point. You have a choice of playing for Kentucky as a potential top 5 team, as a potential All-American, or going and playing in like Erie and Sioux Falls and some of these other G League cities riding buses. I know what I would do if I was in that position and the decision that what I would make. What would you do, Isaac?
Yeah, I think he's definitely coming back. I think it just makes more sense for him. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He said he talked to Mark Pope, who mentioned that he wanted to get him back to Kentucky for his senior season, and he also said he was leaning on his brother, right, who had gone through the process, right, with the Ravens, and
Mm-hmm.
he knows kind of how the pre-draft process works. So he's kind of doing it smart. He said he's gotten a lot of jewels, right, like little tidbits from teams, and just the feedback from general managers and decision makers on what he needs to add to his game. I think he really wants to improve his conditioning. Obviously, he needs to shoot it a little bit better from three because if he goes to the league, he's probably going to be looked at as somebody who has to pick the ball up for 94 feet and be one of those super pressure athletes type of role players. So I think he's coming back. He said he's so excited for the offseason. I've never heard a player say that before because he's like, I just can't wait to get to work. He's like, I just want to work. He's like, next year, if I come back to school, like there's going to be no question in anybody's mind that I'm going to be a first round pick next year. So like that type of mindset is what he's kind of going in with. And you look at this Kentucky roster, it's completely changed. They're way more athletic. They're way twitchier. This isn't like oh God, we're going to have to score in transition because when we get to half court, we're not really sure if we have anybody that can really create off the bounce a little bit. Like this team really has like a lot of athletes. I think they would ramp up to a whole nother level if Oweh comes back. It just feels imminent that he's back in Lexington, and now we can start talking about Kentucky as like a top 5 team in college basketball if they get him back.
Goodman, they have unlimited funds. Just give them a blank check if you're Mark Pope.
All right.
So
what
is your price? Check. What's your price?
The biggest thing for me wouldn't be that. The biggest question mark, again, I think he is coming back to Lexington. The biggest question mark is like, who's going to be cut out here? Who's going to be cut out minutes-wise? They've got so many dudes in the perimeter right now, even with the Kid Perry leaving. I mean, look at it. Jalen Lowe, Oweh, Cam Williams, Denzel Aberdeen, Colin Chandler, Jasper Johnson, Trent Noah. That is a lot of dudes to keep happy. I mean, Trent Noah, I would assume he's going to be lucky to get his 11 minutes that he got this year. Like, I just can't imagine. But like Jasper Johnson is a great one. Like, how much can he play as a freshman with all these guys coming back that have experience that are getting paid a lot of money? And they're all getting paid a lot of money.
I think we're going to see a lot of 4-guard stuff from them next year. I think that's kind of what the answer is going to end up being, where you have like Cam Williams playing small ball 4 with Mo Diabate at the 5 and try to build lineups that way. I'm not convinced that Jaden Quaintance is going to be ready for the start. I know what he's told us, Goodman. I'm not convinced he's going to be ready for the start of the season.
He thinks he will be, but they'll take him slow.
Every kid thinks they will be.
I mean, yeah, you keep Brandon Garrison happy if you bring Quaintance along slower. So, but we're talking in January. Like this could be one of those locker rooms. Like it's going to be very interesting to see. That's going to be Mark Pope's biggest challenge, right? How does he keep everybody happy? Now, when they're all looking at their paychecks every month, they should be happy. But again, we saw it last year. Coleman Hawkins, his paycheck was good, but no, they weren't winning. I think Kentucky will win enough. So it'll be hard for that guy who's the 11th man to complain. But that 11th man who is going to be looking and saying, like, maybe I made the wrong decision because I could have played 30 minutes somewhere else.
Yep.
No, it's a great point.
Yeah, go ahead, Isaac.
I would also just add in the math part of this. Kentucky's going to play really fast, and they're going to have to tell guys, like, look, you playing 21 minutes a game for us is the same amount of possessions as somebody playing 25 minutes a game for somebody else. So, like, we're going to play extremely fast. And when you're out on the floor, you're going to get those extra possessions. Like, that's like the type of pitch that I think that they're going to have to make, because you're right. Like, it's Noah's Ark a little bit. They got two of almost everything at every single position. How do you find that fit? How do you make it all work together? I think this team, I think the cream rises to the top with those guys, because, yeah, I like Cam Williams, the idea of him, but, like, if I can play Otega Oweh over him, I'm going to do it. If I like Colin Chandler, but if I can play Denzel Aberdeen over him, I'm going to do it. I like the idea of Jasper Johnson, but if I'm going to play Jalen Lowe over him, I'm going to do it. Like, so, like, that's like kind of what we're dealing with. You
Johnson and Moreno,
trying to win a title.
Johnson and Moreno, like, I just can't imagine they're going to get real minutes with all those veterans in front of them. Now, again, Mark Pope, let's take this into account. Last year, he was 3 point guards down injury-wise. So he set himself up to make sure that injuries are not going to derail this year at all.